At a small ceremony at the Convent in the presence of the Governor, Commissioner Richard Alger on behalf of the RGP and Commodore Steve Dainton on behalf of the MOD put pen to paper pledging to treat service personnel and their families in Gibraltar with fairness and respect, and to help the military community through charities and organisations. The Commissioner said the covenant only cemented an existing relationship, with the RGP already supporting the armed forces and vice versa.
That's absolutely correct. The RGP, together with the Armed Forces, has an excellent working relationship, and all this does is cements the work that we currently do, working in collaboration, working in partnership to ensure that Gibraltar remains safe.
There was a bit of a hitch in those relations some years back, which was with what's now known as the airport incident, which saw a bit of a hoo-ha between the RGP and the MOD. So relations back on track?
That was an unfortunate incident, but certainly the relationship with the armed forces today is an excellent working relationship. The relationship is being built upon by myself and Commander British Forces, who I'm extremely grateful for his support during his tenure. And this is all about good communication, working together in partnership to ensure that we provide a good service for Gibraltar.
Well, after the airport incident that you referred to, I think it's fair to say that when organisations deal with difficult issues, sometimes there is a degree of difficulty. But I think the important thing is the way that you get over that and you move forward. And I think if you look forward to where we are today, the relationship between the Ministry of Defence and the Royal Gibraltar Police is hugely strong at every level. I count the Commissioner of Police as my professional friend and my personal friend. And I think that is reflected at every level of our two organisations.
Can I just ask you to clarify something in the actual covenant? No member of the armed forces community should face any disadvantage, which is of course fair enough, but then it goes on to say special treatment may be appropriate in some circumstances. It seems slightly one-sided.
Well, we ask a lot of our armed forces, and just in recent times, of course, we've had young men and women coming back from some pretty difficult overseas operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, and indeed in other parts of the world, where through the service that they've applied to their country, they've got difficulties that might require some special assistance. What the Armed Forces Covenant does is just make sure that they are, given the fact that they're moving often from one place of the country to another, or even one country to another, that they're properly looked after and given fair access to the services that they require as a consequence of any damage that might have been caused through their service to the country.
And sir, perhaps just a mention that we are coming up to Remembrance Sunday and what it means today to the armed forces.
Well, it's always a very special time of year where we get the opportunity just to reflect on the sacrifices that have been made by not just the current generation but past generations as well in the various conflicts down through time. And the signing of the Armed Forces Covenant between the Royal Gibraltar Police and the Ministry of Defence is a really special piece, because what it does is it just firmly cements that relationship that we see between these two great organisations here in Gibraltar.
The Remembrance Day Sunday service will take place just before midday at the War Memorial on Limewall Road.